This is the QR code. Da 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 die. This is how we do it. The QR code.
The other day on Dancing with the Stars, Bruno sang literally a single bar from one of the songs that had just been performed, and the host was like, all right, no singing, and I'm like, oh, to have to actually worry about copyright infringement as the Disney Corporation would, but I'm like, we luckily don't have to at this point.
Not yet. So we're enjoying these days. So we've got to be real close about not girl bossing too close to the sun.
Hasn't been a problem for me thus far. I got over that after college. My girl bossing was getting 2 degrees. Nice. Next.
And talking about going to law school.
I had one conversation with our friend that was currently in law school, and it was like, ooh, so disillusioned. I don't think that's for me.
Well, it's funny because obviously, like, the world is our oyster, and you totally could. If that's what you wanted, you could have it. You could do it. No questions asked. But is that what you really want? That's not what I want with my life. But I would support you in whatever it is you want. I do think
Quinn.
At this point, law school would be a tough sell for me, but if I felt it was in your heart, I would
be
follow you into the dark.
Having a very hard time believing and understanding if you approached me with a desire to go to grad school in any capacity. Not that you couldn't, but why would you? Who knows? You never know what happens down the line.
To the girlies in grad school, this is obviously no hate. Of
course not.
We are so
I
proud
applaud
of you.
that beyond what you know, of course.
We don't have the strength. You have to do it for us. Like,
or frankly, I don't know.
The interest.
I feel like education for education's sake, which aggressively loud ear flap.
Roger flap.
Which, yes, but when school costs so much to go to in this country, it's like, if I could just go and educate myself and do that, that's one thing, but I think, again, having put through one of my couple in a grad program, I'm like, nice. You kind
Good
of
words.
fulfilled that side.
Maybe you should go to grad school.
Having of one put in my couple has been to a school that non necesito.
I just associated. I'm trying to just get out of this topic into what Quinn has to say about Manchego. Also, looking at my fingers.
Oh my god.
This is me, you guys. My dog has been making me pet him for this first part of the podcast, and in that amount of time, I wash my hands directly before recording. So when any of you say, "Oh, he doesn't get up on the bed with you," yeah, he doesn't.
And he gets baths. It's hard to believe, but he gets baths. Are they maybe far between? Yes, but you're not even supposed to give your dog a bath very often.
No, a once a month bath should be plenty for that.
Yeah,
but it's
not. You look like you've been out petting equine all day, so you're gonna just slip right into that lifestyle real seamlessly. Do you want to go wash your hands? Because I wouldn't blame you if you did.
I'll let you know, but right now he's still standing right here, so I might as well.
He's begging.
It's walk time, and that's not happening, so this is appeasement, and okay, tell me what you will about doing that to him right now, but
I think that it's great. You guys have a very sweet relationship, and if it were me, I would obviously be petting him. My 2 dogs, guys, great progress with Bunny. He has really... Can I say gone over the hump? I don't think so, because I'll take that back in 10 days. You know, ups and downs, but this past week since we've been back, he has been doing very well at settling down outside of his crate too, not only in his crate, but right now him and Pinker Pie are both laying next to each other, just fully zonked, spread out on the carpet in the living room. So I am just feeling really grateful about that. And he has been not being as irritating to his older sister as often throughout the day. He's like starting
Well, you guys have been doing lots of practice.
We have been doing lots of practice, and sometimes that's what you have to remember to stay steadfast in something, because guess what? Was the 4 weeks of us this diligent practice enough for us to really see a huge difference? It made us feel like we could use tools to help, but it didn't make it feel like a huge difference in just how he was choosing to act. So sometimes it takes 8 weeks, and that's when you see the difference. And
sometimes it takes 100.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a lifetime.
It
But we
always
won't
takes a
accept
lifetime
that for this.
as we found out. But Quinn and I feel like both had really nice weeks. But what happened with your manchego?
Well, Riley wants to know about my tasty bite, as she likes to say. I was thinking, like, I'll just send it right into the podcast, but then always how Riley and I are with recording times with the podcast is we do our best. Okay, we do our best. We tell each other an estimate of time. It doesn't happen. And then we communicate about how long we're running behind. And I think that's very fair, because we always still make it happen. I would say it is me more often, certainly me more often, saying I am actually running a bit behind. But I think we could all understand that, given when I'm working from home, all that I have to have settled before I sit down for an hour of concentrated time. So anyway, in this moment, I was like, oh, about to hop on. But then my tummy just grumbled, and I saw there was half a block of Manchego cheese left in the fridge that my mom had bought when she was here that I hadn't sampled before. And that just was a snack that hit the spot so much. I had some sourdough crackers, unfortunately not made by me. I wish they were, but they were really delicious. And that Manchego cheese, and mostly I was just eating the cheese by the slice, not even with a cracker, because I need to look at what brand it was. I know that she got it from Whole Foods, but it was really yummy, creamy, light, but just such a good texture, fresh Manchego that hit the spot so much. Like, I didn't finish the block, and I'm thinking about it still, and I will return to it after this. So anyway,
consider it finished.
Yeah.
You know what cheese I've been loving is what you got to try at my house. That is from Trader Joe's, and it's a soft ripened cheese that I think is just called I wish I knew if this was the name of an actual type of cheese. No, we had some with you on our cheese board that's called, I think, this is in French, forgive me. It's like Saint, but like Saint Anglais.
Oh,
somewhere. Yeah. Fingertip update. It looks like I've been rubbing charcoal into a piece.
Yeah.
But it's definitely on the end of like stinky cheeses, but it's very creamy, soft, ripened. It's a delight.
It's
cheese.
like a blue cheese, but it's not. But right, it's that one that was.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the little. It's not blue cheese, but it's that type of a texture of one of the softer blue cheeses. Which,
like a very soft
yummy
blue cheese, like more like if a brie was soft. Brie is soft. Brie is soft. I would say more of a brie if a brie was kind of stinky and funky like a blue cheese.
Oh yeah, that's what it. Yep, yes, it was definitely more like brie, but blue cheese tanginess. Yum. I love cheese. I really do.
Me too.
I had a lovely dinner with Mom and Dad for their anniversary with Mom, Dad, and Sean while they were here at our lovely spot, Softa, that we have told you all about in Denver. I was thinking about Riley, thinking she would be happy for us, but not so happy that she wasn't a part of it because we got to try so many good different things than what we usually have since we had dinner there instead of brunch. It was yummy.
I'm happy for you.
Really yummy. And you know what else is sweet? Okay, so my mom has been out of town, not at our home in Jackson for a little while because she has been dealing with things. This lady has been dealing with things with parents and losing people and having to take care of people and just having to jet set via her car Aretha all over the western United States for years at this point. She has really dedicated herself to caretaking in a big way for people. So anyway, she's right now been out of town, and apparently she, before leaving town, had been very diligent on her daily crossword puzzle from our Jackson Hole newspaper, which is so cute.
That's hard.
That's hard, and also I love when people do
Games.
read the newspaper and do the games. I just think that's obviously that is a whole...
Catch me in the comics or the Sudoku.
I love that. I personally find crossword to be much more challenging than Sudoku.
Oh, yeah, that's why you can catch me in the Sudoku.
Yeah, and I don't know, it feels more like a game. I'm like,
is
words?
there a word search option?
Yeah, which that is fun. Word search is fun. But anyway, so it was funny because we had a couple of days before their anniversary. We had been talking about my mom missing out on the crosswords and how she was feeling. And I just to my dad was like, to my group, I was like, oh, how cute would it have been if my dad was like getting her the little newspaper every day and cutting out the clippings. How cute. And he's like, yeah, how cute. And then he was so excited to give her a gift at the anniversary dinner, and he had made a little envelope, and he had saved up this thick stack of crosswords from her being gone. He had just so neatly with his scissors done such good clippings and gave her a big stack of the crosswords.
So you're saying he, at that point that you brought that up, he knew he had done that?
Yes, he had been doing it for months.
He must have been like, yes, nailed it.
Yeah.
That's so sweet and thoughtful.
I think actually how I said it to him was, oh, Dad, have you been cutting out the clippings and saving them all for Mom? And he did his yeah. So I assumed, I don't know, didn't assume he didn't, but didn't think, it didn't sound like confirmation that he did. So anyway, Sean, my mom and I were like, oh, how cute.
That is sweet. That's very sweet. I love doing those. I think that when you've also been in a relationship a long time, not that I've been in one nearly as long as Mom and Dad have, it's fun to give a little thoughtful handmade / just not just a purchase gift. I think we all have a soft spot for that since we've grown up in our family doing a lot of the handmade / thought up gift giving, but it's nice when you're like, I don't really need anything. It's always fun when somebody makes you a mixtape sort of vibe.
Yeah, definitely. It's really sweet when it's something that was clearly thought out for you specifically. I know I think that we were champs for all of the baking and food prepping gift giving that we did our whole lives growing up, and it is such a bummer that obviously was derailed when we graduated high school. It's not like we've never done any of that since. You know that we're gifting our sourdough and stuff like that, but I definitely we made such the dankest homemade barbecue sauces and gifted them. Yum. I would be so happy to have that barbecue sauce instead of what I have in my fridge.
Brayden, made a homemade barbecue sauce the other day, which I thought was really cute. We were going to a potluck and he was smoking meat and he made a homemade barbecue sauce and used it on the meat and then brought some.
Yum.
And
did it turn out
was
good?
Yes, it was a lot more of like a vinegary style barbecue sauce, so it was really yummy. The ones that we used to make growing up are just like the classic, such a like thick, rich sauce that of course for dipping purposes are especially delectable in my opinion.
I love a vinegar, though. I mean, like, I think I told the Potter, did I only tell my Instagram? I think I told you guys that Riley and Brayden have so many delicious pickled and fermented goods at their house that I just got to try. Speaking of trying a smorgasbord, ladies, no, the frickin' strawberry chocolate was not a smorgasbord, as we knew. But
Riley and Brayden's mason jars are.
Yes, they are. And all I need is a pair of chopsticks and access to their fridge because, right, I had to have told about the Master Daikon. It was so good. And I'm still thinking about that. So if you're like, what should Quinn and Sean get for a gift? That's a great idea.
Just a Jelly of the Month subscription to our fermentation closet.
Yes. I would love that.
God, I wish that it would work better to mail you fermented things, but that is a dangerous game.
Yeah.
Fermentations burst.
Yeah.
Hard for them to be all sealed up tight.
Dang it, that's really irritating to me. You're
Oh,
really
well,
irritating
I guess
me.
we have to live closer together.
Yeah. I guess we have to be neighbors. By each other's bedrooms. I guess we have to live a door apart in the same house.
I found something that I took some photos of school projects I did as a kid, and there was one that said, like, my dream house will be, and then it has the kind of lead up questions that you fill in at the end for how it's gonna be, and mine was like, will be with my twin sister Quinn, and I had drawn like a little house with you and me and just us having a little garden and everything. I'm like, and I've always known myself.
Nothing has changed. Riley and I from a very young age knew that we did do some workshopping because there was a point in time that we were like, it will be the same house. Period. Like, same house, Riley and I share a bedroom, our husbands, who we end up can share a bedroom. Which does sound better. It does, but
only makes sense.
We have to think of our husbands. So now, then the plans, after a little bit of workshopping, we realized, two houses on the same property, but must have a bridging the gap, or a path or a walkway that is very clear from one side door to another. This, like, under 60
kind of
seconds
bank style cylinder that you hop inside it.
Zooms
over.
Yeah, we have, like, it's seriously a 5-second process to get to each other's house.
Sean, start designing, please.
Yeah. I'll tell him about that.
Then we could also use it to drop hay in for the animals.
Are you the animals? Oh no, me and Sean.
Quinn,
me and Sean are the animals. Yeah. Perfect. That would be crazy.
High velocity vegetables down the throat is kind of intense, but
no, it'll be the jar like you used to do at the bank.
Yeah.
You put it in the jar. Which that was such a cool system. I am so bummed that I never got to experience that as an adult. Like,
are you saying
that
banks
is way
just
more
simply
fun?
Don't do that anymore, or
Yeah.
you just do all your online banking so you haven't experienced it?
Either it is not done anymore, or it is very few and far between now.
Because, I think that's probably true, but I got to do it once, but back at our home bank.
I don't even think they're doing it at that one anymore. I don't think so. I don't know.
Taking all the joy away, like the pennies. Goodbye, pennies.
Oh,
They're no longer being minted anymore in the United States, and was like a penny advocate as a child. I remember when there were first speakings of that being a possibility, and I was like, that's wrong. You should not do that. I love pennies.
Riley was writing letters to our mayor.
I had a penny jar, and I'm like, a penny saved is a penny fucking earned.
Yeah.
And we should not do that because pennies are special. They're the only copper coin. I know that they're not actually made out of copper, but their vibe I like. I've always liked the pennies vibe. Say what you will about it being cost effective or not, but it's the end of an era.
I wonder if we're gonna run into less lucky pennies.
Yeah,
because now people are going to be more like, other people are going to snatch it quickly.
A lucky Venmo. No.
Sean about me cracks up because I pick up lucky change that I see, and I felt so touched that before the day we were leaving, and we had for our clinic, we had pulled over to get some food, and right outside of the horse trailer was two, like, it was crazy how well placed they were. 2 dimes and 2 pennies. And I was like, okay, 22. Perfect. Thank you. And Sean goes, oh, do you like that number? And I'm like, only we both have it tattooed on us.
Yeah.
So...
Do you like that number?
When we were leaving back and heading back home from the clinic, we had stopped the trailer to pull over to get some food, and there was another lucky penny. So I was like, we are blessed, we are safe, and we will get home all in one piece.
I love that. That is fun. And I still keep a coin jar, put in my adventure fund, that once the jar is filled, it is redeemed at the bank. That being said, now I'm like, do I start hoarding pennies? Or are they going to be, change stays in circulation a long time. So I don't think they're going to be rare. That being said, how much...
Unless people start hoarding them, so maybe we should be anti-hoarding pennies.
I'm kind of anti-hoarding in general. I just don't think we need a hoard. I think there's enough for us all, so... But, what was a lot more effective is Quinn's quarter jar than my penny jar. That quarter jar would fill up and you got like $100,000, it felt like, and then my penny jar was full, and they're like, yeah, that's $456. I'm like, damn it.
But it was cute, and it was awesome and hilarious, us going to the bank together with a jar of quarters and a jar of pennies. Yeah, that quarter jar did me well. It really did. And so it has our adventure fund, and hopefully as it starts climbing up, we can break that thing open and it'll buy us a mule.
Yeah, that would be awesome. What we used to do with our grandparents, that was such a cute special tradition, is he would save his coin jar, our grandpa, and then use the money to take us to the drive-in movies when we were in town. And it's cute. Would go to the drive-in, which, how good is a drive-in movie? And how insane is it that now they're like a relic? They're so hard to find.
Yeah, I heard someone online say that movies are a dying art and soon everything is going to be short form, and I'm like,
no.
Please no.
I don't.
First of all,
I at least think there are enough people passionate about that I don't know, that's
maybe there will be
what they
less
said about
made
books with e-readers, and it's kind of like, yeah, I get that, and I don't know, that hasn't happened. It's hard to say.
Well, another thing I saw about movies is that now people are specifically writing movies in a way that is doled down so that while you're scrolling on your phone or a different device, what did they say? It's like called
it's
something.
Called like writing for your second screen or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just
And
expect that you'll be also on your phone, so they're trying to not make it like
too
too
complex.
yes. Which is my
Yikes.
experience watching recent TV, and not too complex. That's why people, I think, get so excited about shows that do like really draw you in. Like Ozark, I feel like was one that you are just engaged in, and Succession is one that everyone talks about, but I personally haven't seen. But maybe that would be a good example.
Speaking of riveting TV, I just last night started the new season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh, I never even watched the second season, but now I
What?
I know.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm so
down
out of
to earth.
touch of, yeah, I just don't really do reality TV. Meanwhile, Selling Sunset, Selling the OC, both like downing as I'm packing.
Okay, there's got to be a new season of Selling Sunset because I'm seeing press about it and that there was a reunion and I was unaware, but I am going to have to watch that. Selling Sunset is it wasn't the first, but it is one of the first reality shows that I actually got into and like watched the whole seasons of.
It's really fun to see the properties, whether you agree with that sort of exuberant living or not. Of course, I do find it interesting to see the properties, and it's fun being around specifically the Southern California franchises because we have a little bit of context for them as places.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
It's funny because I 1000% have not, well, we might have exchanged words before, but what's his name on Selling the OC that now is no longer on it, that was was it Brittany Snow's ex? Yeah.
Yeah.
We have fully seen multiple times in our life growing up at the beach that we grew up going to from where our parents are from. Like genuinely, it's so funny because when I saw his face, I was like, I just assumed it was on like social media or something.
Yeah.
And then our parents were like, no, that's whoever down at the beach. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. Is it Tyler? Why am I forgetting?
Yeah, Tyler Stanaland, I think. But I just feel, I don't know, something about that when you have that personal connection to someone that's like doing reality TV and is very like public in that way and whatnot, it almost to me, I'm like, I don't know, it makes it a little too real. It's reality TV is such a like dissociative entertainment style.
That's what I like about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is that I know people really have all sorts of things to say, which they just have to say about reality TV in general. I think that it is entertaining to watch. I think it is the most I have like closely related in terms of like where it is in the world, because most of the reality shows we're watching are either California being like the main, or they're traveling different places. But being from Utah, which it's an area we grew up, like we have the context for Utah, we have the context for Mormonism, and they're just like people genuinely women that didn't even, I don't know. I think it's so interesting because I know people talk about the fact that they will acknowledge the camera and that they break the fourth wall. That doesn't bother me at all. It makes sense to me because they're TikTokers. So I actually think it makes so much sense. I don't know if they did it on purpose or like intentionally or not to begin with. And now I'm sure that they've heard that people notice that. But I like that part about it. It's like me and Riley on the podcast. How often we mentioned that we're on a podcast.
I think it's so interesting, the whole dynamics of it all, that on the show, the like Selling franchise, what do they call it? The Oppenheimer Group reality TV. I feel like they format it so similar to dating reality TV. Like they introduce these almost always women that are these real estate agents in the way that it looks like they're a bombshell on Love Island. Like they'll be getting into the pool wearing a bikini, like swimming while they're saying like, hey, I'm yada yada, I'm 25. And it's like, wow, what a trip that this is like about their career in real estate, but it could just as easily be like coming into Love Island. It's interesting.
That is interesting. And
you know what
believe
Michelle Obama
you can be
said,
a professional in any form or fashion.
Of course.
Of dress.
Roger just almost yanked out my mic cord. Michelle Obama said that you have to be part of the culture to know what's going on. I watch reality TV and I watch these different shows and like this is all culture, and I will say it is very revealing and it tells you a lot about a different culture or just pop culture to watch reality shows, and it's been fun to be more keyed into that in these years of my life where I have been and like often know what people are talking about when they're referencing these characters. But I also watched a Korean show not too long ago, and reality show called, did I talk about this on the pod? It was like a kitchen competition. I forget what it was called, but it was done so differently. Like it was super different than most like American cooking shows in a lot of ways, and I just found it very interesting, the different experiences going on. But their budget was crazy. Like they were in this massive warehouse space, and the sets, I know that Squid Game is clearly a fictional story, but honestly I do think that's another one that shows culture in a lot of ways. Just how built out that set was crazy. I never even finished that show because it was too dark and scary for me when I wanted to watch it.
I'm hearing at first I was like, what is that? And realized it's my goat coughing outside my front door. I did watch all of Squid Game and watched the new season, and it was crazy. Okay, this is the name of the person. I had to look on Instagram because I wanted to double check her name, but this makes me think of Barbecue Showdown that I have told you multiple times I have watched, and I think about it while we're podcasting, honestly, more than I think about it outside of the podcast, and I need to tune back in. But first of all, Michelle Buteau, who is so awesome. Love her, and her season is so good. And can't wait for season 3 of Survival of the Thickest, which it's their final season. That Michelle Buteau, like, I don't know if she wrote and produced, but she is also the main character, and it's so good. I love that show. But anyway, so Barbecue Showdown, they have so many different ways of cooking food that they'll ask you to do. So some of it is like open fire, and some of it, they have the different cages, like a cage, and then something, don't know what all the different apparatuses are called, but there will literally be chains that you hang stuff from, or then you nail stuff to a board or whatever. And on Instagram, her name is Miss Sarah Glover. She is such a badass chef, specializing in outdoor open fire large scale installation feasts. But her stuff, it's so like truly pieces of art, the way that she like hangs food. I'm showing the YouTube in case anyone is watching. It's so interesting and cool, and like cooking over open flame takes so much understanding and knowledge of cooking, because cooking temperatures matter so much, and to understand where I just think that is a craft that must have taken so much time for her to develop, because it's like feasts literally that she's feeding. I don't know, sometimes
So people
100
hire
people.
her to come like to cater basically, but she cooks it right in front of them and
Yeah,
wow.
she just was this summer in Jackson. I don't know if it was, I'm trying to remember, it might have been with Diamond Cross or with a ranch like that she did a couple events with. And she worked with Ballerina Farm at the rodeo at the beginning of the summer. So yeah, she gets hired as a chef and helps with big events. But it's cool because she's just literally like one step away from our circle with some of the people that she knows. And she wears clothes from Revival Clothing Rye, where you've got the overalls from in the past. So I think she's so cool. And I I have been more sensitive in my past about looking at something like an entire fish being cooked, and now I have become a lot more like comfortable with that. But I think also because I understand how important like full animal utilization is if you're going to participate in eating meat. But she makes it look all so beautiful because she uses such like big bundles of herbs and, secured with twine and these cool chunky chains and wooden boards and flowers. Like, so it's so interesting.
The aesthetic definitely matters for those things, and we've all been to restaurants that maybe don't look like much on the inside or outside but have really great food, but it is a different experience when your entire ambiance is created for you.
Yeah.
And especially like campfire cooking, you know that doing a hot dog over the fire, you were like, that's tasty. A s'more over a fire versus like trying to do the same thing and even like blowtorch it inside just does not have the same experience. So I'm sure that food, like lovingly prepared by an expert chef, is just like so delightful. Brayden does a pretty good job with cooking over the fire as well, but we should watch the show to inspire that next level behavior.
We should take a open fire cooking class at some point, because I feel I love cooking over the fire, but I have so much to learn, and what I really want to learn is more baking over the fire. And my friend Jess actually said that she would be a good resource to talk to, because she and her husband have done a ton of open fire cooking, and she also is super educated about herbs and like food that grows on the land and landscape. She can identify so much food, plant material, and I just really
awesome.
I'm so interested in learning more about that. And as I spend more time in the backcountry, I really want to learn more about what is edible out and about, and just learn more about types of grasses, types of trees, plants, flowers, like all of it. I'm so interested in it, and it really is. You hate the moment of dysphoria thinking of how many logos you can name and versus trees. Or birds.
We can counter that by appreciating when I think about over these past few years how many more of those species names that I can identify now than I could before.
Yeah, it's true.
Progress, and you can't know it all at once, but I think that living out here with the different fauna and flora has definitely even brought that awareness to me, where I'm like, okay, I crave knowing more of these things. But that did remind me, Quinn, of how beautiful this ginkgo tree in our neighborhood looks right now. They are the really beautiful shaped leaves that are like little, I I have a specimen. I carried this home from my walk in my pocket with me, so it's slightly crumpled, but I knew I might like to use this as a reference or something.
Yes.
But
beautiful little fan.
They're the beautiful little fan with these ruffled edges, and this color still looks nice in person or on the camera, but you of course can imagine just like how golden this whole tree looks. We rounded the corner on our walk, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this tree and all of its leaves that have fallen on the ground. It still has some leaves, but a lot are around it, and it's just like it's sitting in this golden pool of its fallen leaves.
So pretty.
And it is stunning.
And that's a good reminder to not feel pressured by capitalism and elitism to have to rake your leaves, because leaves are great habitat for many, many species and are rich in nutrients that break back down into the soil throughout winter, and where the whole lawn concept and raking your leaves came from was being elitist and trying to show status. And I personally think that I'd rather judge someone's status based on their being in tune with Mother Nature than them trying to have a spick and span outdoor space. Like, the outdoors don't need to be perfect and curated. It's special that there are the transitions, and I love not raking my leaves, I can tell you that.
Roger loves when somebody has raked a pile of leaves towards the edge of the sidewalk, because of course, imagine how many interesting smells all gather up and how many little critters must go live in those piles, and he will crunch right through your pile. And if you think, I don't want dogs to possibly be marking or crawling through my leaf pile, I recommend doing it closer to your home rather than closer to the sidewalk, because nothing is more
too
tempting. Yes.
Speaking of critters, you know what? We have a raccoon problem. And by a raccoon problem, I mean one singular guy that I laid my eyes on for the first time at night the other night, because I'm in my bathroom brushing my teeth, and from there I can see the chicken coop, and we have an automatic light. The automatic light flips on, and there's this big bulbous round body with a fluffy tail reaching into my Rubbermaid. I'm like, okay. He took his big human hands and ripped the lid of our Rubbermaid in half. Like, it's crazy. Oh my gosh,
that's hard to do.
I know. I'm like, what? I just picture it being on its back feet up on one edge, and on the other edge it's pulling with all its force, because how it seriously is like deek, the most jagged edges ever. And he's not only, and I just assume he's a boy because he's being a little irritating right now. He is, first of all, thankfully, knock on wood, not having interfered with our chickens, but in the coop, because that's where we have our compost bin and obviously chicken feed and stuff. But he has also found his way into the barn, trying to rip open our tubs. One of my galvanized metal containers, the lid is all bent from him trying to get in it. And last night, accidentally, we had, from Murdoch's, got one of those Wallaby licorice bags. We're like, why not? We got it for our clinic, and then had a few of them last night, and accidentally it got left outside of the horse trailer instead of being put back. And guess what I found in the middle of my horse's area this morning? Torn apart, empty licorice bag.
He was like,
seriously, can you imagine him taking those chunky little licorices? Like,
which flavor was it?
It was just the classic strawberry.
He did. He's like, in the middle, just laying out in the stable, dropping the little candies into his mouth.
And that's what I mean when I'm telling you he is bulbous. Like, he is eating good.
Each of his little raccoon fingers. Dang, well, I don't want to start anything controversial on the pod, but why don't you set like a live trap to relocate him? It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. It might be a good idea, though. I would love to see him. I was like, they're so cute. And Sean's like, they are not cute. I'm like, they are cute. And Sean goes, look at those little hands. Have you seen the hands? They are not cute. And I'm like, they're basically little human hands. And Sean said if his baby came out with those hands, he would be so terrified. Because I was like, they're like little baby hands.
Well, I
but
was
strong.
Oh my gosh, I was watching a squirrel on our porch just a little bit ago, and they also have similar little hands, and
yeah, they do.
I was
just
watching
shrunk
him.
Down.
Yes, like he was checking all these shells that the birds drop from their bird seed and was trying to. He was very disappointed by how well those birds shelled them, but he did find some bits. But it was a trip watching him where I'm like, you have very, very dexterous little hands and toes.
I know. Animals are so cool. Can you imagine if horses were standing just on hands like this?
Yeah, that's not my favorite.
It's crazy to think that they developed out of having had quote-unquote fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's wild.
Well, you get
the
a little...
hoof makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, evolution does its thing in a generally good way, because if you try to mix and match features from many species, you're like, what is really cool in this situation? Not such a good fit in this one.
Like humans having tails.
That is one of the better, like, mutations. I feel like that could happen, and if you had a tail, which one would you want?
People tell me I have a horse tail all the time. With my hair, so I guess I'm a horsetail girly.
Hey, at least you can swish away flies and nuisances.
Yeah, I just wish that my skin could twitch like that.
I do love a big fluffy like deer tail. Those are so cute and fun.
Aww.
But I would probably want to pick like a big cat style feline tail for the balance and the flickability.
A snow leopard would be awesome.
Aw, red fox would be cute.
Aw, you would be so cute with a big fluffy red fox tail.
Oh
or maybe
gosh.
yours would be scrawny and a little bit homely looking.
Hey.
Maybe.
That was
what, we don't other those foxes.
The squirrel that I saw this morning, I think his tail has been through some things.
Aww.
Well, I feel like this podcast has come to a natural conclusion. I am so excited to see you very shortly, Quinn, and for you all to revel in our inevitable burst of energy from being together. And don't forget that you can watch our videos on YouTube if you want to see me do 90% of this podcast with filthy fingertips. Roger will be getting a bath directly after this recording. And
that's nice.
You can follow us at the Q&R code, at Riley Liliestrom, at Quinn Liliestrom, at Tattoo by Quinn, if you please. And
yes, please.
We'll talk to you soon.
Happy Tuesday. Bye.